Stephen Colbert's career ended yesterday with a whimper. Nobody really cared that his show is off the air, that he destroyed the legacies of David Letterman and Johnny Carson, that he shut down the Ed Sullivan Theater altogether because he took a show that was meant for everyone so that we could all laugh at ourselves and made it a show for left-wing activism that no one was laughing at, and that's his major crime. Liberals didn't even tune in. They're the ones who are eulogizing Stephen Colbert as though they lost a loved one or a relative. It's super creepy, cringy, and weird. The worst post from the DNC you could possibly imagine, and President Trump posting a meme that has broken the internet. All of it could have been avoided if Stephen Colbert just did the thing that he used to do. This is a clip from 2015 that has resurfaced of Stephen Colbert interviewing Donald Trump. And it's incredibly fair. And Stephen Colbert even says, I like you,
you
Donald
shocked
Trump.
At all
this
at the enormous response you've gotten from the crowds, from the voters, from the people out there in America? Because you shocked the Republicans.
Right. It's been so really amazing. We went to Mobile, Alabama a couple of weeks ago. We had 31,000 people. At Dallas, Texas the other day, and we had 20,000 people and did it in about 3 days, filled it up in 3 days. There's been a tremendous response in New Hampshire and Iowa. No matter where we go, it seems that the response, it just gets better and better.
I'm not surprised at all. I'll tell you why. Is because
I'm liking him a lot.
No. I'm liking you too.
Look at that.
I'm liking you too. I'm not surprised at all because, especially in the Republican field, because the Republican Party has been a big pusher of the idea that money is speech. And you're a $10 billion mouth.
Yeah.
You know,
it's another way.
You're their worst nightmare. Your worst nightmare. Do you think they really want to stop you? Do you think they can stop you?
I think that the establishment in the Republican Party probably isn't that thrilled. I will say this. I'm financing my own campaign. It's a self-funder. In other words, I'm spending my own money. I'm not asking the lobbyists.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see this. It's almost like getting in a time machine and going back to an alternate universe where Stephen Colbert is interviewing President Trump and he's being fair about it. Fast forward a couple of years and Donald Trump, who Stephen Colbert says, I like you. And Stephen Colbert is like, you have billions of dollars and you're changing the game. You're changing the systems, is interviewing Kamala Harris. Wild. Just a few short years later, an absolute clown show, Kamala Harris pretending that she has evidence that will put Donald Trump in prison because of Russia collusion.
Are there things that you know that you can't tell us that you'd like to tell us?
Absolutely. All of the above is true.
Are they good?
Oh my gosh. How can you how do you go like all you have to do in this gig is just appeal to the widest audience possible, set your partisanism aside, and rake in the cash and the viewers. You were handed a platform built for you by Johnny Carson, who had 55 million people watching his finale, David Letterman, who had nearly 14 million people watching his final show, and the ratings are in. 6 million people watched Stephen Colbert's final show. And I'll show you why. This is why. Look at this from the official Democrats account with 2.4 million subscribers. Thank you, Stephen Colbert. Thank you. Dude, you were just doing propaganda. It was just a propaganda show for libtards. It's a literal libtard show. You took a show that was once fair and considerate of guys like President Trump, and you destroyed it. Everybody's saying Carson's finale, 55 million viewers, Stephen Colbert's 6. Pathetic. Stephen Colbert seen getting drunk last night. Great. Dude, aren't you like 60? You're a little old for you're 60, dude. Chill out. Well, President Trump has no chill. President Trump posted this video on the internet on X, a very rare post of President Trump on X.
Our final broadcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. President Trump dancing to YMCA while Stephen Colbert gets thrown in the dumpster. This has been seen by 50 million people. So it's been seen by 10 times the number of people that watched Stephen Colbert's final show. It's a beauty. He loved this so much. Hello, X, says Dan Scavino, saying that Donald Trump loved it. And people playing this video of Stephen Colbert's first guest in 2015 was Donald Trump. Colbert said that he liked him. That's right. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump, 63,000 reposts, 541,000 likes on this post. Jeez. Over 500,000 likes on the post. Crazy, man. Gutfeld dominates ratings as CBS retires The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. President Trump also popping off on Truth Social, of course. Colbert is finished at CBS. Amazing that he lasted so long. No talent, no ratings, no life. He was like a dead person. You could take any person off the street and be better than this total jerk. Thank goodness he's finally gone. He was a total jerk. Stephen Colbert played copyrighted music that was supposed to cost CBS millions of dollars on his way out. Obviously, President Trump popping off, and the viewers ultimately popped off. I mean, the only thing that could have saved Stephen Colbert would have been if people tuned in. And while there's no shortage of libs screaming and crying, like Jimmy Kimmel having a meltdown urging viewers to never watch CBS again, I hope those of you who watch our show will also tune in to CBS for the last time. Don't ever watch them again. A bunch of sniveling, graceless, ingratitude, pretentious, absolute repulsive people these personalities are. I mean, they have no gratitude for the platforms they were given, they were handed. Their massive staffs losing $40 million a year. And they're going to sit here on the way out and try and light the place on fire. Well, they succeeded. They did. And ultimately, libs could have saved them by tuning in, and libs didn't even want to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox News' Joe Concha gives the full reality check from the media seat. Fox News has the #1 late night show, Greg Gutfeld. And they explain why. Right.
There's this utterly ridiculous narrative being pushed by many in legacy media, Democrats themselves, that Donald Trump ordered Stephen Colbert to be taken off the air. But as I wrote on this week in the Washington Examiner, there's some very important numbers to consider here otherwise, okay? The first number is 200 plus. That's the number of staffers The Late Show currently employs. I mean, can anyone explain why a program that consists almost entirely of two people talking across a desk needs more than 200 staffers? Because I can't get there. Second number, 22. That's the number of writers Colbert has to write his monologues, and that's according to the show credits. And most of those monologues, you know, the days change, but they really don't, because the screeds are always against Trump or conservatives right out of Groundhog Day. It's utterly predictable. Another number, 1. That's the number of Republicans that have been invited on the show in the past 6 years. And of course, that was the anti-Trump Liz Cheney. How about this number, 15? That's the number of times Bernie Sanders has appeared as a guest on the show. Because when you think entertainment, the first person that comes to mind is a hypocritical Democratic socialist, right? 14 times. That's the number of times, Todd, that Jake Tapper has appeared on Colbert, because, you know, he's only third, a distant third in the cable news race in his time slot. It seemingly he has more staffers than viewers at this point. And finally, 40 million. This is the most important number, guys. That's the amount of money annually that Stephen Colbert was losing for CBS. His job is not a charity. If he wants to be an activist, fine. But you can't cost your shareholders that kind of money on a yearly basis, because you have to pay all these staffers, have all these production costs, and not have the return on investment on it. So I think in the end, he's being celebrated as iconic, but no, actually, he was predictable. And again, he was losing boatloads of money for a company. You can't do that and expect to keep your job.
Joe.